Auto Trader pregame show. I'm happy to get to be here with the HOS. We get Isaiah Thomas, Kevin McHale, you, Spurs and Jazz teams in the West, facing other teams in the West. Mass hysteria. They're all in the middle. Guys, the defense. I mean, these numbers as coaches, forget players. Look at the board. This is where the Spurs have been the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't gradual. This is like one of those roller coaster rides, like where you just
it just ends.
Big drop.
Yeah. Big drop.
How do you explain that? I mean, how do you try to put it? Is this just personnel?
Well, there's two things. Yeah, personnel. When you lose arguably the number one defender in the league in terms of Kawhi Leonard.
Yep.
Okay. So when you see third, first, and fourth, right? That's Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Leonard.
Some Kawhi Leonard.
Some Kawhi.
Yeah.
But when you lose him, right, that it takes a big drop. Now, I think where their problem is at right now is at the point guard position, because the point guard position is the hardest position right now to defend in the NBA. And when they had Murray out there, right, he was an elite defender and developing into a big-time player. But when he got hurt, you don't have that elite defender right now. So what you see is now the point guard who gets hung up on the screen right now. Conley's in the middle. Now you got DeMar DeRozan. If that was Kawhi Leonard, he doesn't make this mistake. DeMar DeRozan reaches with the right hand, gets turned around, loses sight of the man. Again, coming off the screen, he gets hung up on the screen. Harden has now 2 steps. The big has to come out of the lane. What Murray and what Leonard were good at doing is once they got hit with a screen, they would only lose a half a step. Now your point guards are getting hit with a screen, and they are losing a step and a half to that offensive player. And when you lose a step and a half to an offensive player, you got no shot of recovering. And when the defender is helping to recover, as we saw DeRozan, normally you jump to the ball to help. He didn't jump to the ball. He reached, got himself out of position, turned his back to his offensive player, which consequently he cut down the lane. So when you lose vision of the person that you're guarding and then you're swiping with the wrong hand, these are just defensive principles that you need to go back and try to correct. But I don't know if they have the talent defensively to do those things that Leonard was so gifted at doing.
And the way you make up for that is, as a big, I got to cover for you. I mean, I know guards get beat because, man, this hard. Yeah. This game's hard. Hey, when we played, you could hand check, guards got beat. So I had to be able to guard too. And I had to be able to, compress the court, make you come to me, not give up lanes. And at a certain point, I'm going to determine who's going to shoot the ball, either you or the big. If I attack you, you're going to make passes. So bigs can cover up for so much. But I don't think their bigs are just not athletic enough. I mean, you're going to watch LaMarcus Aldridge, who's never been a great defender anyway. I mean, he comes out here. Now, he's in really good position, okay? He drops off. He can guard, too. He can't get back to his man. Then Bertans is the 4-man. He doesn't come over and block the shot. You got to be able to stop the ball and get back to your man. You're going to see this right here, too. There's no closeout. I don't know if the game plan was let that guy shoot, but if it was, he did a good job because he just looked at him.
I think he had 35 that night.
He followed that game plan. And right here, you've got to be better than that. You just can't stand there. I used to always call that the 7-Eleven defense. Just put your hand up. The guy got a gun. You're just quitting, and then you just get big boyed. I mean, everybody in this league is big and strong. But you can't play defense by just standing there. You got to be in the stance when that guy shoots it. You got to get off your feet. You got to try to block the shot. I just see their bigs aren't able to help the guards who are having troubles anyways. And I agree with you on Murray. I think Murray not being there really hurts him. I mean, he was long-armed, rebounded, defensive rebounded for them, did all kinds of stuff. But their defense is terrible. And I mean, I'm not saying it's just bad. It's terrible.
Well, the numbers support you now.
And I don't know if you can overcome that. I don't know if you can be a really bad defensive team and overcome that. I don't care how much you score. Your defense is constantly letting you down. And that's why they get beat by 30. I'm telling you what, when you're getting beat up on the defensive end, you hang your head. If shots aren't going in, they're good shots. You stay into it.
Right.
But when you're looking around and guys are laying it in and you got no resistance at all, that's when your head goes down as a player.
Yeah.
That's how you get beat by 30. And that's why it's happened twice this year.
Even after years of consistency with that pick and roll, Stockton Malone The consistency with the Jazz have been winning at home. It's very tough to play in that building. Funny thing happened. This 2-6. By the way, they lost their first 4, I think it was, at home. Now, 3 of those losses, Donovan Mitchell did not play. As you look at the numbers there, let's talk about Donovan Mitchell. We were talking about this earlier. You sit there, you watch the Jazz. So exciting to watch them last year. Zeke, are we watching too much standing around waiting for Donovan Mitchell to do what he did in that game against Westbrook, where everybody's starting to see him go off, and maybe not so much of the Utah Jazz togetherness offensively we saw a year ago?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The togetherness, that is missing. And Rubio brings a lot of that in terms of bringing everybody together. What made Utah so good last year is that they could beat you from a lot of different places. And then in the last 2 to 3 minutes, right, Mitchell would have an explosion. And they could be in a game, and you only needed that explosion for 2 to 3 minutes. Now they're asking Mitchell to, basically dominate the game for 34, 35 minutes, and that's not how they win. They got to start playing together collectively again, and then he gets that 3 to 4 minute burst, and now you can win the basketball game. But if you're dependent on him to carry you for 35 minutes every single night, that's going to be difficult.
And the thing is, Mac, they don't have the kind of guys, well, now they have Korver, but they didn't have too many shooters that are going to hit contested shots, drive to the hole. They were getting easy buckets and great looks because Rubio had the ball in his hands so much, it seemed, last year. Really the best year of his career, even was hitting open shots. Do you think maybe that's one of the factors here? I know he was gone at the end of the playoffs last year, but it doesn't seem like he's really gotten back into that form with this team we saw for most of last year.
They're not good enough defensively to get the turnovers and get the stops that led Rubio out in the break, and then where he could just kind of dribble and just keep on going. Yep. Rubio is so much better in a scattered floor. He's not as good against half-court defenses that are set. Everybody goes under on him. Everybody's got a game plan to make Rubio shoot. What you can account for is the 5-on-4 breaks where he is great. 5-on-3, he's finding open people. And they just haven't been good enough defensively stopping people to get in those scramble plays where he just makes the right play. And secondly, I agree 100% with you on Donovan Mitchell. They won so many close games last year where he made big hoops at the end of games and everything. It's when they're down 8 with 3 minutes to go, man, you got to be like a superhuman to win some of these games. They last year were down 2.
Yeah.
And they just got to keep everything closer because their defense last year carried them a lot. And Donovan Mitchell made big play after big play. But if they can get some more block shots by Gobert in the middle, some more steals, allow Rubio some more chance to break out and go. Maybe now with Korver they'll have a little better spacing. But, I look at him. Ingles can shoot the 3 well. Jay Crowder can stand out there and knock down some threes. So they should have some better flow offensively in the half court. But their half-court offense has been poor this year.
The other thing is, and we talked about this, we were joking earlier, they came out in their pressers in the playoffs, which I loved altogether. They crammed 5 guys in. That was what we learned about the Jazz. They were all for one kind of jokesters, that chemistry, right? They also used to win loose balls and seemed like always outwork you. Are you seeing that? And does it come naturally, you tell me as players, when all of a sudden you're not having success, that maybe even when you don't notice, you're a little bit more lax than you used to be?
Well, and I think I can speak for Mikhail on this also. I mean, we were guys that wanted to be ahead of the pack. We wanted to dominate the league. We didn't like playing from behind or sneaking up on people. We wanted to walk into the gym where everybody say, hey, they're the favorite and they should win, right? I think with Utah right now, in terms of expectations, they're coming into this season where a lot was expected of them, and the burden of expectations now is weighing heavy on them. And we talked to Favors before the game started, where now teams are gearing up and they are ready to play against the Utah Jazz. They're not sneaking up on anybody anymore. Right now, they're walking in as looking at being the favorite, and that other team is prepared for them and ready to play. So those little things, those loose balls and all that, they're not getting. The other team is coming up with it because they're not handling being the favorite and living up to those expectations that they should have as being a winner.
Real quick, coaching hats on, what do you do to try and counteract that? The fact that guys now have the X on their back and teaching them that.
embrace it. Like,
yeah.
Look at embrace it. You know, we're better than that team. That's why they're saying we're favored. So what the hell? I mean, I never went into a game going, boy, I hope I'm worse than that guy.
Exactly.
I went into saying, I'm better than you. I'm going to kick your ass.
Every night.
You got to embrace that. It's just it's a mindset of you know why we're favored tonight, because we're better than they are. Let's go kick their tail. Quick. Casey Jones used to come in sometimes with a rag, and we'd have the stuff on the whiteboard, and he would just walk in, erase it all, and say, we're better than they are. Let's just go play hard. Yeah. Kick their ass.
Yeah.
We'd say, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And so you got to embrace it. You really do. If you shy away from being the favorite and that stuff, you ain't winning.
I like being the favorite.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I've had to chase these guys. I didn't like chasing them, right? Now, when they went away, I like that people were Come on, get it.
From the favorite